So we were there in Spain studying primarily urban spaces. I think all of us were really impressed by these public spaces and how they're used, and they're really used quite differently than public spaces we see here in the States.
I think that just seeing the different design in Spain compared to here, it's just, for one thing, it's so much older. You know, you see things that are from 1700s, how they have kept up with the buildings and how they still look amazing after all these years. And just the free expression of Spanish design.
I don't think we can artificially recreate a small Gothic plaza in a U.S. city, but it was really interesting to think about how we might create spaces that have that feeling, where cafes and pathways and public seating all kind of combine to create a really active public life.
I just like the whole idea of keeping the old but making it into the new. There was a lot of integration with that sort of concept of, you have these really old buildings but we don't want to tear them down. So they're willing to kind of work that into the fabric of their design, which I really, really like. That's one of my favorite things. I love old buildings. And I mean, just Gaudi's idea of design and how he brings nature into it. He wasn't afraid to do what he wanted to do, and people, even though they mocked him at first, now they appreciate him a lot. So
I think Girona was a highlight for me. We saw kind of beautifully preserved old Gothic portion of the city, surrounded by an old Roman wall. I really fell in love with this plaza, which was really kind of an administrative building for a University of Girona, and it made me think about how could I choose materials in a kind of contemporary setting that might show the passage of time the way that a lot of those ancient structures do. It's almost a dream, I think, of mine as a designer to be given the opportunity to interact with something so old and find a way to reincorporate those old things and make contemporary spaces. So many things were pointed out to me, both by the faculty, also by some of the students, a building that I might have walked right by. We waited for an hour to get inside because it wasn't open yet, and they had the most amazing kind of stadium seating suspended staircase that it would have just never known that it was there. So that, yeah, the group really did bring out kind of unique perspectives that I wouldn't have necessarily seen.
Just their concept of the city and how they integrate it into the people is awesome.